Welcome back to the bettors on Friday morning, 19th of February. We have probably the best NBA slate of the year season so far. Only 9 games, but I've made like 7 bets already, or looking to make 7 bets so far. It's an amazing slate for betting. I really like what we can bet into today, can fade the teams that I like to fade, can back the teams that I like to back. So it's looking good. We are getting right into it. If you have any feedback or comment, you can reach me on Twitter at the Barrel Zone. If you want to tear my plays, you can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone and support the podcast. No stream tomorrow. I will be back on Sunday. Tomorrow we only have 5 or 6 games, but on Sunday we have another big slate, so I will be back for that. And now we will get into it. First game of the board, day, etc. Still early. So Orlando Magic are hosting the Golden State Warriors. Warriors are laying 4.5 points on the road. This opened up as 5.5 at some shops. I think it was Bet Online opening this one up early. Magic quickly got bet 4.5. I think there is still some value on the Magic, but if this gets back towards 5, I would be happy to jump on the Magic here. So the Warriors are still without all their centers. So Looney, Wiseman, and Chris are all out, and now Draymond Green is also questionable. Interesting thing, I think he will sit out. He was a late scratch on Wednesday. This is the first game of a back-to-back. Warriors play in Charlotte tomorrow. That's a more difficult game. If he sits out today, he has an extra day to rest his injury. I'm kind of leaning towards him playing. If he's out, I would make this around 3.5. Golden State by 3.5. So yeah, I would definitely look at the Magic here. Multiple reasons. First of all, I'm expecting obviously Green to sit. The Magic are still without Anthony and Gordon. I said, Cole Anthony, the rookie point guard, he was pretty bad. I think the Magic looked by far the worst so far this season when he was playing point. And Gordon is also out, obviously an important part for the team. But James Ennis is questionable. Coach said he will play. So basically they will have 2 injuries, Cole Anthony and Gordon. And while Gordon is a hit, obviously, Anthony out, I don't think it's a big issue with Michael Carter-Williams back. Michael Carter-Williams was pretty bad in the last game against New York, but New York is by far the best defense they have faced recently. Top 3 defense in the league. They are really good at shutting down guards. I think we will see Michael Carter-Williams perform way better than that here and going forward. And I think he's right now a better player than Cole Anthony, to be honest. But I mean, I don't think it's a downgrade. So on one hand, you have all the 3 centers out and Green probably out. And on the other hand, basically you only have Gordon out. I think that's something that favors the Magic here. These 2 teams played just a few days ago, and Orlando closed +9. And in that game, they didn't have Fournier or Michael Carter-Williams. They will have both guys here. They only lost by 6, and overall, I looked at the game and I went into the stats, and the Magic won rebounding by a country mile. They had the better free throw rate. They won the turnover battle. So basically, everything was really going fine for them. They just couldn't hit the shots. They had a 47% effective field goal percentage. I don't think you can really do anything about that. There are some nights when your shots won't fall, but now they have Fournier back, huge upgrade offensively. Michael Carter-Williams is back. I'm kind of liking the matchup for them. The Orlando defense is at a similar level as the Golden State offense. I think they will be able to slow them down. Orlando has the way better rebounding, second in offensive, 16th in defensive rebounding. Golden State is bottom 5 in both. Orlando has the better free throw rate. It showed in the first game. Overall, I think the matchup for them isn't offensively is pretty decent. Also, the Magic shoot the most mid-range jumpers in the whole league. 42% of all their shot attempts come from mid-range. Golden State is a below league average defense against mid-range jumpers. And yeah, the Warriors also have, as I said, a game tomorrow. Magic on a 4-game homestand, no back-to-backs. I think getting 5 here would be amazing with Orlando, but I think 4.5 is also some value. I'm expecting Green to sit and this close at either 3.5 or 4. But yeah, some value. I think the matchup is pretty decent, and they could keep it the last game pretty close. So yeah, I would look at the Magic here. So 1 game, 1 lean. 2 games, 2 leans. Chicago Bulls at Philadelphia 76ers. Philly laying 9 points. Actually 9.5. You can grab 9.5s right now with the Bulls. I think you should do that. Philly is without Shake Milton, and while the dude isn't someone who would move the line normally, I think he's a super important piece in this squad. He's averaging 14 points on a Philly bench that has been one of the worst offensive units in the league. Milton has been out for 4 games. The Philly bench through those 4 games scored 21 points, 25 points, 20 points, and 19 points. The league average is 35 points for bench scoring. So, I mean, they are putting up nothing basically on the bench. Bulls average is around 34 points or so. So I couldn't lay like almost 10 points with a team that is likely getting outscored by 10 when it comes to the bench units. And adding to that, Simmons is just probable here. He has the flu. He couldn't play 2 days ago. So even if he plays, I'm 100% sure he is not at 100% health right now. I mean, if you have the flu and you cannot play on Wednesday, you won't be 100% on Friday. So yeah, Philly lost 3 of the last 4 games while Milton was out. And I think just based on this, I don't think the market is factoring Milton's importance in here properly, and obviously Simmons not being 100% also a big thing in the matchup. Also, Philly 6 in offensive rebounding. I'm always saying rebounding and free throw rate is needed for Philly to dominate, and the Bulls are allowing the lowest offensive rebounding percentage in the whole league right now. Actually, their whole defense has been amazing through the last 2 weeks. They grade as the 5th best defense in the whole league, and they played the Clippers, the Pacers, the Pelicans, another high-powered offense. So they didn't play bombs, and the defense was holding up pretty decently. Philly also played the 3rd easiest schedule in the league. So yeah, their overall numbers might be a bit better than what's really under the hood. So yeah, overall, I really like the matchup. I can make a case for Philly. They are 12-2 at home. I mean, they have always been a great team at home. They draw the second most free throws in the league, and the Bulls give up the 4th most. That could always kill a team. And the Philly, I mean, if you look at the shot map, Philly is putting up the second most mid-range jumpers in the league, just behind Orlando. I just mentioned almost 40% of their shots come from mid-range, and the Bulls allow the second highest field goal percentage in the whole league against them. So yeah, that's my case for Philly, but I'm taking the Bulls. I make the line Philly by 7.5, and we have 9s and 9.5s out there. Even if I'm too high on the Bulls, I don't think I'm too high, by the way. I mean, they have been an amazing team at keeping games close and covering games, especially on the road. And now they're great as the 5th best defense and the best defensive rebounding team in the league. And the bench isn't terrible. Why Philly has the worst bench with Milton out. So yeah, I think Penny will trade this game maybe around 7.5 to 8, but I don't think you will be able to get a better line on the Bulls than +8 if the sharp books open up, and now you can grab 9 at plus money or 9.5 a little bit juiced. Atlanta Hawks at the Boston Celtics. This is a rematch. First game was played 2 days ago. Celtics closed as 1.5 point favorites. Now they are laying 4.5. The difference is 3 points. The reason is that they were on a back-to-back in the first game, so they played the night before. Obviously, you have to downgrade the team because of that, and they didn't have Kemba. So yeah, I think the back-to-back and Kemba being out is perfectly fine for a 3 point correction, making this -4.5. But they have Smart still out, as he was out in that game, and the big thing is that Brown is tagged as questionable. Brown is the second best player on the team, averaging 26 points. Spread is now 4.5, but if Brown sits, this is like 1.5 or 2. So yeah, if you want to sit on a Hawks side right now and you can find the 4.5 anywhere, I think that's an okay bet. Most books are that have the game up are around 3.5. I think that's fair. That's like a midway line between Brown playing or not. So I would trade the if I was trading the game, I would trade this around 3.5. But based on the first game, I kind of feared. I was leaning towards the Celtics. When Kemba was announced out, I said no bet for me. But based on what I saw in the first game, and I went in the stats and what I kind of feared for, leaning towards the Celtics came through, and now I would probably just look at the Hawks or nothing. So the Celtics have pretty strong rebounding. I expected that they will out-rebound the Hawks. They had a 35% offensive rebounding in the first game and 24% for the Hawks, but it didn't mean shit. Atlanta was in the 96th percentile in free throw rate and 90th percentile in effective field goal percentage. And that's what I said before the game. Through the whole season, the Hawks draw the most free throws, and the Boston Celtics give up the fifth most. They are fouling way too much, and you cannot do this against this team. Also, Celtics allow the third highest field goal percentage around the rim, and the Hawks attack the rim at the 10th highest rate in the league. So if I mean, this sets up really well for the Hawks to just get into the paint, get those extra points from the free throw, and yeah, I think yeah, the Celtics will probably out-rebound them again. But what I mean, if the Hawks just score the way they want to score and the Celtics just let them, and Boston has been regressing defensively super fast. They are grading as a league average team defensively right now. Hawks are the 12th best offense through the season and through the last 2 weeks, and they face the toughest schedule of defenses. So overall, probably the realistic offensive rank for them around is top 10 ish. So yeah, I like the matchup for the Hawks, and after seeing the first game and what I expected kind of came true. If Brown is out, Hawks are absolutely a side. I would lean towards the Hawks even with Brown in. If we get like a 5, I would need a 5 with Brown in to make a wager. I'm making this around Boston -4, 4.5. I think if Brown plays, you will probably get maybe a 5. That would be a good bet. But if Brown is out and you can quickly jump on the 3.5, the books are dealing right now. That's a side to bet. All right, next game, Memphis Grizzlies, Detroit Pistons. I will be quick on this. I don't have any interest in this game. I agree with the market line. Memphis Grizzlies are 4.5 to 5 point favorites. I make it exactly between 4.5 to 5. Memphis is an extra as Detroit playing third game in 4 nights. They have been terrible on the road. They have only have 2 wins straight up on the road. Blake Griffin is now out for the season. They will want to trade him, obviously. Grizzlies are playing Phoenix tomorrow, way bigger game. I didn't want to lay too many points with a team who has a more difficult game on the tail end of the back-to-back. I still don't like that Moran is well below league average offensively. He has a 109 offensive rating, below league average, and he's averaging like 20 points. That's kind of forcing it way too much in my eyes. They have guys who are better scorers. Morant is a great player. He's just not a great scorer. But if your best player is not a great scorer, then I don't like you really. So yeah, equal rebounding, equal turnover rate. Detroit draws the fourth most free throws in the league. Uh, Nothing really stands out, to be honest. One thing, maybe Memphis puts up the fifth highest rate of mid-range jumpers, and the Pistons allow the third highest field goal percentage from these. Overall, I would kind of lean Memphis, but I just cannot trust them. But I feel that Detroit has been outperforming our expectations a bit, and yeah, they might fall down. Everything has them ranked around 20th in the league, so they are like 10 spots away from where we expected them to be. That is the worst team in the league right now, and I think they will slowly move back towards that spot. Next game, Milwaukee Bucks hosting the OKC Thunder. Another game where I have a strong lean. I will make a play here on the OKC Thunder for sure. Not for sure, but very likely. Game was traded at plus minus 11 on Pinnacle before it was pulled. Obviously, the Bucks played last night, so Pinnacle always pulls these games where the team plays the night before. Giannis and Middleton played 37 minutes, so pretty high load for the Bucks. They lost again. They lost 5 straight now. I think they didn't cover any of those games. Obviously, they have been mostly favorites. So yeah, it's a third game in 4 nights back to back against OKC on regular rest. OKC did get SGA back in the last game. He played 33 minutes, scored 20 plus, looked pretty decent. I thought. So now only Hill is out for the OKC Thunder from the core players. So they are now back to being mostly healthy. But even if when the guys were out, they graded as the sixth best defense in the whole league, only allowing 110 offensive rating, which is really good. And overall, I really like the matchup. I like the matchup. The first time these two played, OKC allows the second least free throws in the whole league. Milwaukee draws the third least offensively, so you don't have to fear for the Thunder giving up just bad fouls. OKC offense putting up the seventh most threes in the league. Milwaukee allows the fifth most 3-pointers and the second highest field goal percentage on these. On the other end, I said in the Toronto games, and I'm saying it again, Milwaukee isn't attacking the paint enough. If they would force that, they would have way better matchups, but they are kind of shifting away from that. Because OKC has a bottom 3 defense in the paint, but they are pretty decent perimeter defense. They allow the fourth lowest field goal percentage from downtown, and Milwaukee is shooting top 10 amount of threes. So I think if you look into the shot map and if you look at the on-court matchup, this is really a good matchup for OKC. They are fully rested. Milwaukee obviously not. We could see some guys sit. I will wait for the injury report, as Holiday could be back from the COVID list any day now. He has been out for like 5-6 games. Probably he would be on minute limits, etc. But the market would move towards Milwaukee if he's announced in. And I want to fade that, obviously. But if we get an 11, I will bet the Thunder either way. My number with Holiday in is 10, 10 and a half, Bucks by 10, 10 and a half, but not 11. So that's a plus EV side, in my opinion, even if Holiday is in. And I would probably lean towards him still sitting this one out and coming back for the next game, as the Bucks are off tomorrow. And then he can come back, I think, on Monday, the next time they play. So yeah, at 11, I like OKC. Matchup is great. The Bucks are kind of in a weird funk, but that's not really reflected in the market rating, I think. And the OKC defense is really good. They will be able to slow them down. Now they have some scoring back. Bucks could wake up anytime. Obviously, super risky to bet against them, but they haven't been that great ATS machine this season. They are just graded league average of defensively through the whole season. I think their average point differential is like 2-3 points worse than it was last season, and they are not covering at that insane rate that they were covering last season. All right, so OKC Thunder. Phoenix Suns at the New Orleans Pelicans. Another game where I have a strong lean. I'm liking the Suns here. Steven Adams is out for the Pelicans, or he's doubtful, but I'm kind of thinking that's out at this point. He is only averaging 8 points, but 9 rebounds. Obviously, his rebounding will be a bit missed on a team that lives and dies by the rebound. Suns are on extra rest, although they have a game tomorrow. This is the third game in 4 nights for the Pelicans, so slight rest advantage for the Suns. Suns got everyone back from injuries. They have been one of the more injury-riddled squads in the last 3 weeks. But now that they have everyone back together, they're rolling again. They grade as the 5th best offense and the 11th best defense through the last 2 weeks. Plus 9 point differential on average, plus 3.5 against the closing spreads. And they played Brooklyn, they played Philly, they played Milwaukee, Boston. So the last 2 weeks schedule, it wasn't that easy at all for them, and they just performed amazingly. On the other hand, I kind of want to fade the Pelicans. They grade 7th offensively through the season, but 2nd through the last 2 weeks. But they faced a very, very easy schedule. So they played Portland, Memphis, Detroit, Dallas, Chicago, Houston, Memphis, Indiana. Some of these teams don't even have a center. Some of these lineups are just too small. If you look into any of these matchups, Houston didn't have Wood, obviously. Portland doesn't have Nurkic. So yeah, they got some really easy matchups, and yeah, they were rolling offensively, but the defense is still dog shit. Bottom 5 defense through the season. And if you look into the matchup, I mean, New Orleans offense is graded 7th in points per possession, 10th in effective field goal percentage, and the Phoenix defense is 6th in points per possession and 7th in effective field goal percentage. So, I mean, Phoenix defense is still grading higher than the New Orleans offense. And if you flip the script, Phoenix 9th in points per possession offensively, 7th in effective field goal percentage, and New Orleans is 29th and 30th defensively. I mean, it's such a huge mismatch for the Phoenix offense against the New Orleans defense. New Orleans also bottom 3 defense from downtown. They get to the rim at a super high pace, second highest rate of shots coming from the paint. Phoenix is below average, no, around league average defense there, but nothing like seriously mismatched there. So yeah, this is by far the best team the Pelicans did face through the last 2 weeks, where they were kind of rolling. I don't know, they were like 4-3, so not rolling, but they did win some blowout games. Trying to make a case for the Pelicans, they have a pretty decent free throw rate, 9th most thrown in the league. Phoenix fouls the 11th most in the league, which isn't really good. So yeah, New Orleans will have a slight edge there. Pelicans 1st in offensive, 8th in defensive rebounding. Obviously, they have an edge there. Phoenix only ranks 24th in offensive and 6th in defensive rebounding. So not like a giant edge, and I think the strong defensive rebounding should be enough here. Overall, I mean, Suns on extra rest only laying a few points. I make the game Suns -3. Line is 2.5 -109. I think this will get to 3 any minute now. I think this is basically a 3 right now. So yeah, if we see any type of buyback or just a dip and we can grab a cheap money line with the Suns, I will do that. I think they are the far better team. What we see right now is what we saw early in the season when they were fully healthy. They are a top 10 team, and the Pelicans are not even close. Toronto Raptors at the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is another game that's pretty interesting. We need to unpack a lot of things. So the Raptors are 3.5-point favorites on the road right now. They played last night, so it's a back-to-back for them. Fred played 40 minutes, Siakam 38 minutes. So we will wait for the injury report. Raptors known to sit players out on back-to-backs. Kyle Lowry was out last night, and he will also be out today. It was already announced that he will miss at least the next 2 games, so that includes this game. These two played not too long ago. Raptors were at home, and they closed as 7.5-point favorites. Obviously, now we flip the venue. We are in Minnesota. No Lowry. Toronto on a back-to-back. I think we could see this even come down from the 3.5, and we could see this like around 2.5 to 2 maybe. But I'm not expecting it, to be honest. I mean, the Raptors just beat the shit out of Milwaukee twice, and they have been on a little bit of a roll, and they are looking good. And the matchup is amazing. I make this 4, so even at 3.5, if you can get that at reduced juice on Pinnacle once they open, if they open 3.5, I would probably go in. D'Angelo Russell is out for the Timberwolves. He will be out for a while. Um, in the first game, the Minnesota Timberwolves won, but they have a 62. They had a 62% effective field goal percentage, which is extremely lucky. Why Toronto wins this? They draw the 8th most free throws in the league. Minnesota gives up the 3rd most. Toronto has terrible rebounding, but the Wolves are way worse than them. They are the last team in defensive rebounding. They allow the highest offensive rebounding in the league. Raptors force the most turnovers in the league. Wolves attack the rim at a pretty high rate. Toronto is a pretty decent defense there. On the other end, Raptors top 10 in three-point percentage, shot rate, everything. Minnesota is a super bad three-point defense, bottom 5. Minnesota is also the worst transition defense in the league, facing a top 3 transition offense. So if everyone plays, obviously besides Lowry for the Raptors, and we get a slight discount here. Anything under 4, I make it 4 at 3.5. I would like that. In the meantime, Phoenix kind of flipped to -3 on Pinnacle. Good shit, whoever got that. So yeah, I like the Raptors here. And the spread will be super small here. And now you are getting basically a legit playoff team, borderline top 10 team against one of the worst teams in the league that's tanking. So yeah, I think it's getting to that point where you will find value with the Raptors. Next game, Utah Jazz at the LA Clippers. You have to bet the Utah Jazz right now. They are 2.5-point favorites on most books at the time I'm recording this. Clippers have Batum, Paul George, Kawhi, and Kennard tagged as questionable. They were whooping the Clippers' ass in the last game. They won by 18, closed 6.5 with Kawhi also out. I expected Leonard to play there. I'm 100% expecting him to play here, but I think Paul George won't be ready. I've been listening to Clippers podcasts. They don't expect him back this week. Batum, Kennard, I mean, they aren't moving the line, but obviously they are a bit valuable. But if Paul George is out, this has to be Utah -4 at least. So just based on that, you can grab a 2.5 or 3 right now. You should do that. Conley questionable for the Jazz. He has been upgraded to questionable for the last game. He didn't play there. He might play here. Obviously, that would be another upgrade for the Jazz, but they will probably take it slowly, and I'm not sure he will play here. But they have been amazing without him. I mean, it's the best team in the league. I don't have anything to add. I said it the last time. Jazz way better rebounding, way better free throw rate, amazing matchup both offensively and defensively. Whatever the Clippers are doing, they can perfectly counter that, and they have an offense that will be able to score. I'm expecting another clean W for the Jazz here. I don't understand how these soft books opened up anything less than -4. I don't think you would want way too much money on the Jazz here from the bettors, and I think they are getting that right now. So yeah, Utah, anything under 3. At 3.5, I would probably still bet it smaller, like half unit or 0.7 and 7.5. Yeah, whatever. All right, final game of the slate. This was just added. This is a makeup game for the COVID situation. Denver Nuggets at the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is another game where I have a strong lean. I kind of like the Denver Nuggets here. Denver still with injuries, but some guys are close to coming back. So Harris and Millsap will be surely out here, and Dozier is also out. That to me is like a 2-point downgrade for the Nuggets. And we have Will Barton questionable. He missed, I think, 3 games due to personal reasons, but he could come back here. On the other end, Andre Drummond is gone for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They announced that he won't play anymore. He will be traded. Allen is now the franchise center, and why I like Allen, I think he won't be able to bring the exact same things that Cleveland got from Drummond. So Drummond was averaging 18 points, 13 rebounds. Allen is averaging like 11 points, 10 rebounds. I think from the scoring stance and both from the rebounding stance, I think we will see a small downgrade. We will see. I mean, if they let Allen loose and the minutes will skyrocket and usage rate will also, then we could see Allen growing and filling Drummond's shoes. But right now, I think we have to downgrade the Cavs a bit because of losing Drummond. Denver overall, the numbers kind of normalized. They had a pretty weak part of the schedule. They faced some difficult matchups and they were slumping, but now they are back through the last 2 weeks, grading around the 10th best in the league. On both sides of the ball, plus 4 point differential. Cleveland is the worst team right now in the league. I don't think anyone can say anything else. They have a minus 23 point differential on average through the last 2 weeks, minus 14 against the closing spread. They lost 8 straight games, 0-8 ATS. They are started tanking, in my opinion. I don't think the old Cleveland will come back. They were a fun team early in the season. They had strong rebounding. Now without Drummond, I don't think they will be able to recreate that. Matchup is amazing for the Nuggets. They 70% plus of the shots from the Nuggets come from either from mid-range or is a three-pointer. Cleveland allows the third highest field goal percentage on mid-range shots and the highest field goal percentage on three-pointers. These two just played a few days ago and Denver won by 37. Yeah. I think the current 8.5. Betfair has an 8. That's off. I would probably even bet an 8.5. Regardless of Barton's status, to be honest, I hope he's back. He would make this team a bit better, but they still have Murray, Jokic, Mikey Porter Jr. way more than enough to beat this team and cover. And yeah, as I said, I'm downgrading Denver because of losing Drummond and losing Harris and Millsap for the Nuggets isn't the same weight in my book, or similar weight. But I mean, overall, I would make this Denver minus 9.5 if everyone was in for both teams. And if Drummond's weight is the same, them losing Harris and Millsap, then we are kind of still having a good deal, getting a good deal with Denver minus 8. And yeah, Cleveland isn't really trying anymore. I think this will probably get to 10. It has the potential to get to 10 if Barton is in. So summing it up, lots of games where I have leans. I might have the biggest card of the year. If you want to grab my bets, you can go to patreon.com/thebarrelzone. I will release everything on either Pinnacle or Bookmaker. So I like the Orlando Magic. Small edge at 4.5. I think we will probably get a 5. It would be great. But even at 4.5, I would bet the Magic maybe for small, but at 5 or better, this is absolutely a bet for me. I think Draymond Green will sit the game out. He's questionable. That's not factored in the current line enough, in my opinion. So yeah, Orlando Magic are a fair look. Bulls at 9.5. You can grab 9.5s right now. I make the game 7.5. Shake Milton out for the Philly Sixers. Bench production has been non-existent. They are averaging less than 20 points since Milton has been out. Bulls bench averages like 35 points a game. Overall, I really like the matchup. Simmons also coming off the flu. He won't be 100%. He couldn't play 2 days ago. I'm sure that he won't be 100% today. Bulls are a great bet that should be in your account. And then OKC Thunder getting 11 points. Milwaukee Bucks played last night. Everyone played 37 minutes. Who counts? They might see some guys. Oh, I forgot to mention this is the first back-to-back in February for the Bucks. They might sit some guys. We will see. 5-game losing skid. They might just hit the reset button, sit some guys out, and try to beat OKC even without the best players. I think the matchup is great for OKC. Even if Holiday is back, you should wait for the injury report. If he is back, I don't think he will, but if he is back, the Bucks will be slightly upgraded. Obviously, if no one is sitting, but at 11, if you can grab an 11 when Pinnacle reopens, that's a bet. Phoenix Suns, I make it 3. Line is 3, so like no edge, but I really like the side. I think the Pelicans have been playing above their head. Phoenix fully healthy on extra rest. They are matching up pretty well. Pelicans have been facing a super easy schedule, and they have been performing well against an easy schedule. They won't have Adams today. Suns are a way better team, and you barely have to lay a few points on the road. Toronto Raptors, Minnesota Timberwolves could be the same case. Wait for the injuries. Lowry is out. Wait if the others like Siakam, etc., everyone is in, and we're still getting like a 3.5. That's a nice look. At 3.8, that's at 3. This would be a full bet for me. 3.5 would be maybe half a bet, a bit more than that. Utah Jazz, you can grab 2.5s right now. That's off. Even if Paul George is out, and I expect him to sit, this should be 4. And obviously Batum, Kawhi, Kennard, all questionable. I expect Kawhi to play, but the matchup is too good. I'm riding the Jazz. And then the Denver Nuggets, 8. Current line is 8 on Betfair. I think that's super off. Denver won by 37 a few days ago. Cleveland lost 8 straight. Bad matchup. Drummond won't play. I think they will just let the Nuggets roll. So this is it for today. I'm off tomorrow, and I will be back on Sunday. That we have a pretty big slate on Sunday as well. I think 8 games or so. Enjoy your weekend, and good luck for today. And see you on Sunday. Thanks for tuning in.